went then to the college council, which is a college-wide group where they discuss each of the respective recommendations and certify, agree upon the top priorities for the college, for that respective college. And from the college, those recommendations go to, which is the educational plan, to the district-wide planning group, which we call DWIMC. And DWIMC is representative of the academic leadership, administratively, and the faculty. And all of those items are reviewed, and from there emerges the priorities, the educational plan, and the priorities for the district. And in that process is still going on. And once from the educational plans are completed, which they are, then we then move to the facilities end of it. And we have received an analysis from an outside group looking at our future in terms of enrollment patterns and so on, and where we should be 13 or 14 years out. And then we looked at the facilities aspect. So we're now at the point where the facilities has to be integrated into the educational plan, keeping in mind that the educational plan is driving everything in the district. It is driving also the facility planning. So at this point, what we have to do is to integrate the educational planning and the educational plan into the facilities plan. And that brings us to where we are today.
At this point, I'm going to introduce the team from Mars Company that is going to take a look at the Educational Master Plan recommendations. Tonight we have Michael Mars, who is here with us today. We also have Dan Rosenberg. Dan will be doing the presentation for this group. One of the members of the team that is not here today, of course, is Jeff Kellogg, who has worked very hard to make this happen. So, Dan?
Thank you, City. Thank you. It's great to be here. We've been working for a few months on this project and are very excited to show you some of our results. As Dr. Allen pointed out, our process here has been to bridge from the educational master plans created by the colleges to the architects for a facilities master plan. Our timeline, as you can see here, we're nearing the end of it. We started back in October, and next week our plans will go to the official meeting of the board. As I just mentioned, we predicated all of our work on many documents and reports that went before. The overarching document or the overarching work would be begun was the district-wide strategic plan, which was created. Then, very importantly, are the individual colleges' educational master plans. We had drafts of those right from the beginning when we started our work and have gotten a few updates throughout the process. But those really served as the bedrock, the foundation for the work that we did and the conclusions that we independently came up with for the colleges and for the district. We also used other documents, such as the McIntyre report, which was done, an environmental scan for the entire district, and the unit plans, which were, of course, incorporated in the educational master plans. Our plan bridged from that educational master plan to the facilities plan so that the architects had a baseline to work with of square footage needs that were driven by the program of instruction. And that gets to our philosophy. Our planning philosophy has always been that it's the program of instruction and student support services that should be the primary driver for the future space needs of the college, the facilities needs. Because let's face it, folks, that's why we're here. We're here to provide services and education for the students. So that's our philosophy throughout all the work that we do. So what is this plan? As I said, it's built on the educational plan. Each college has a unique and independent plan, and it's related to many other things. Your financial plan. It is the basis for some enrollment management recommendations and some enrollment management processes that we would hope that would be considered by the colleges. And as I said, in driving the future facilities needs. Our activities started up back in October, and like I said, we reviewed all of the existing reports and documents that we were given that the colleges created and the district created. We looked at the environmental scan done by McIntyre, and we also looked at our own data to validate the conclusions that were made there. We then looked at the program of instruction in great detail for each college, right down to the section level. And then coming up with a growth model is to try to come up with what is the program of instruction likely to look like in 15 years. The year we chose for this whole project was 2022. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And then there are some space needs calculations that are done using Title V, the Education Code. And ultimately, we came up with some recommendations for the colleges and for the district. So the McIntyre report looked at the district as a whole and looked at growth rates, population, the economy. Many people ask, well, we're in an economic downturn right now. How is that going to impact things? Certainly that was all taken into account. However, we're looking 15 years down the road, and we're probably talking about 2 economic cycles between now and then. So we did take all that information into account. And then we looked at a lot of data about who are the students attending the colleges, an internal scan. We did that for each college, and we also looked at external data about the service areas for each of the colleges. And ultimately, we were able to come up with a growth model which validated, we felt, what the McIntyre Group did. Their growth rates, we felt, were right on the mark as far as a best guess for the year 2022. And to put that into numbers, we're talking about a head count in the year 2022 of 45,000 students attending the 4 colleges. So it's quite a bit of growth. And some people ask, well, how can we be certain that that's going to be the level in the year 2022? And the answer is really, we're not. But when you get to that size, we want to know what facilities you're going to need. So if you hit this number in 2020, or you hit it in 2025, it really doesn't make a material difference. You need to start planning facilities now to get to that point. There were some recommendations that came out of our work, and in a moment I'll go through each college individually, but there were some recommendations that apply to all the colleges. The first one is a suggestion to use these plans. These plans provide a great roadmap for you. There's a long chain of dominoes in many of the decisions that you make in the future regarding facilities. And the plans have taken into account a lot of those potential effects. And using the plan will allow you to adapt in the future in a way that still addresses the needs of the colleges. Secondly is to take a look at enrollment management. The district is not in terrible shape there, but there's certainly some areas for improvement. To continue to identify magnet or showcase programs or programs of distinction at the colleges. The fourth recommendation, college-wide, that we are presenting is a suggestion that the district may want to consider consolidating and potentially relocating certain programs. We're suggesting that a process begin to look at that as a possibility. Next is to continue to address and strengthen the alternative delivery systems. This is not just online classes, but all kinds of alternative delivery systems